all.
Evening.
How is everyone?
Yeah, good.
Sorry, we're running a bit late. Lizzie's having a technical moment of panic, bless her. She's currently got 2 computers on the go and she's trying to get into Zoom on the other one because weirdly her computer just doesn't have any sound, but also her phone. So she thinks it might be her Zoom settings. I don't know. Anything, something's going on anyway, but I will kick us off with our meditation today, and then hopefully Lizzie will be done because she's actually leading the session, so we hope that we can that will be the plan. But yeah, we've not got Fiona, we've not got Francesca because she's down in Oxfordshire with her family, and then Sophia, it's her birthday, so she's like, but having a bath with birthday cake and gin and vodka, and I'm like, carry on, honestly, like just that sounds
all yours.
Oh my God, sounds dreamy, doesn't it? Cool. All right. So just as we would normally then, it will be a bit of a different one because it's me leading it. But yeah, turn your cameras off, get comfy. Oh, your son might join us, Janie. That would be nice. See if he likes it or not. And yes, I will lead us into a soft welcome to the session. Okay, so as normal, just find yourself a relaxing place. You can either sit, lie down, close your eyes, keep them open, whatever you feel called to do today. But whether you're sitting or lying down, make yourself very comfortable. So just realize that nothing else matters right now but our own personal moment of calm. It's a gift to ourselves in this moment. So for me, if you can just close your eyes, if you haven't done so already, and bring all of your awareness to the position of your body. Feel your body and relax into your body. And now I'd like you to feel your breath and feel the present feelings of relaxation that is spreading through your mind and your muscles from head to toe. And enjoy that feeling of lightness. Enjoy the feeling that may accompany your breathing as well. Every time you take that breath, maybe go that slight bit deeper. And notice how your chest expands and moves alongside those breaths. So go in and out rhythmically. And this is about finding your comfort zone in this moment. Maybe if you want, you could do a mantra or say a mantra to yourself. So you might say, when I breathe in, I smile. When I breathe out, I'm calm. That could be a mantra if it helps just steady your mind and slow your thoughts. So a few more deep breaths. And we're going to gently move into the place within you, allowing all of the worries of the world to fall away outside of us, to fall to the left side of our body and off the right side of our body. So completely fall away like water, that we're underneath the shower head and the water is pouring away. It's anything that's not needed, we're going to let that fall away from us now in this moment. So our whole energy is you vibrating and slowly bringing you into a comfortable state for this meditation. So we're going to start by feeling like we are protected. We're going to feel this positive energy through our entire body. And we're going to in turn allow any of those negative thoughts about past decisions, past experiences, past concerns, or past disruptions to just completely fall away. We're going to acknowledge ourselves in this moment as just being absolutely where we're meant to be and being just as we are. So in this moment now, you are authentic, you're in line with your true self, and you now realize that you can rewrite your story. You can rewrite it in the way that you choose for it to be told. And this is what these sessions are all about. It's not about looking back and erasing chapters. It's absolutely okay. The past is the past, but we are in control of our future. So we're going to just count down from 5 to 1. And as I count down, we're going to allow our breathing to deepen. So we're going to allow our body to relax, all outside noises and chatter to dissolve. So 5, we're going to breathe deeply, feeling peace in our core. 4, breathing out, trusting the feelings of inner worthiness and accepting ourselves fully. 3, deep breath, feel your body, know your worth. 2, breathe out, replace past thoughts with new possibilities, new decisions about the life that you're creating in this moment. And 1, we are at complete peace. We are available to new creations. So in this moment, you're lying in your strength, bathed in new possibilities, learning from all our experiences. We live in possibility. You can say to yourself, I am enough. I have always been enough. Every decision I have made was the best decision in that moment based on what I knew at the time. And my decisions have either brought me great experiences or great lessons, and I've needed them both. So today, in this moment, in this meditation, we are declaring our own greatness. We're no longer shrinking to fit in the small crevices of the world to please others. We're standing boldly and opening the doors. We're becoming our own champion and owning it. Okay. So take a final deep breath. Be present in your body. Feel your heartbeat. Feel your breathing. Feel your hands and your fingertips and the tingle of aliveness. Feel the back of the chair or your bed on your back or your body. And then feel your extremities begin to move your body, slowly stretching. Move any parts of the body that feel like they need to be moved. And start to just bring your awareness back into the room. Maybe you feel the movement in your cheeks as you open up a smile. Take a final deep breath. A big exhale. Begin to rub those hands together slowly. And then come back to the room when you're ready. Okay, amazing. That was a bit different, but just obviously good to have a different person leading you through that. Lizzie has just asked me, can you send me the passcode as the one I have isn't letting me in? There's no passcode, Lizzie, on Zoom.
But
it doesn't work if you try it with no passcode. I've tried that before.
You have to just go in via the internet. So if you just Google the long HTTPS code, it'll then open up your Zoom for you. Randomly.
Fun times tonight with technology.
Oh.
Really weird. I don't know why we have this issue, but anyway. I will kick us off anyway. So how is everyone and how did the last week go in terms of the work you've done around some of the life purpose stuff? How did it land? I've had a few kind of messages from a few of you saying some of it's really big, like, oh, not sure about this. It's like some big questions in there. It's quite meaty topics. So I guess, yeah, just open to everyone to kind of just feedback initially. And then we're going to basically dive into building our actual life purpose statement. So doing a few of those guided visualizations together and then figuring out the metaphor piece, because the metaphor is the really interesting bit, because it's actually understanding or having some words for how you are being you in the world. And for anyone that missed last week, I think it was mainly it was Janie, wasn't it? But everyone else was Fiona wasn't here either. It's important to just say on life purpose. This is probably why, Fiona, you messaged and said like, oh, it feels a bit kind of big. This doesn't have to just be in terms of career. It could be in as little or as big or as small as we would want it to be. So I always talk about life purpose as kind of like being as simple as making one other person smile every single day. you know. So I think that really does put it into perspective, because I think sometimes we make it so big that it feels unachievable for us, and we're like always working towards something that we're like, we're just never going to get there. So if we break it down into that daily action of like one thing that I want to achieve, or how I want to make a difference to the world every day, it becomes kind of workable from there, if that makes sense, you know. And for a lot of people, this might be the way they volunteer their time, the way they are with their family and friends, you know, the way they make that impact, but in a really kind of small way. But it's about it being your way, because you're not going to do it like other people, and the way you do it is your uniqueness, right? I always say about protesting in the streets, some people won't do it in that way, and that's not their way. So it's finding and feeling into like, how do I want to make this impact, and what does that look like? Lizzie, I don't know what to do, to be honest, about it. We might have to just let you go today, because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Yeah, I think, Lizzie, should we resume another time, because I can't, I'm not, I don't know if I'm going to be able to help you with this. This is the one that works, but just go via the internet, not the app. Oh, that's Emma.
Yeah.
Still asking for a passcode. Did you try that one, Emma? Sorry, Lizzie. Tried that. Okay.
Can I just, so I had to change a setting on mine today. So when you're logging into your normal one, Lizzie, is it just that you don't have any sound?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to, when it first came up, sometimes it allows you to do like a test audio, and I had to test audio and then change microphone to same as system. I think Windows have done an update recently.
Yeah, so it's trying to get sound from somewhere different.
Yeah. So I had to tell it to look for this rather than trying to use the front microphone, which I don't have on the laptop. So, but that's about as good as my skills get.
She's just joined again on the other computer, so let's see if she's with us. Hopefully, with a different setting.
Connecting to audio.
It says it'll connect you into audio, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're with you. Can hear you, Lizzie. We've got your background sound.
Can you hear my voice?
Yay!
Okay, I've just got to close this one.
So just turn the other one off, because you've got two U's now. Okay, amazing. So just while Lizzie gets herself into the room and calms and takes a breath, does everyone just want to just share anything from the work this week, or anything that, like Fiona, for example, you kind of, you know, you messaged. So yeah, it would be good to just kind of share a bit of feedback about where people are at, and then we can kind of take you through that statement creating today, which is what this session's about.
Yeah, so I messaged Lizzie actually, being like, what bit are we doing? And she came back saying do 3. I was like, oh shit, I've just watched the video for 3.1. So I was doing my impact statement as you were speaking in that video, and I actually thought that was easier to me than 3. Like, I thought it was easier to write that metaphor. The first 2 questions I thought were okay, like the life purposey ones, but see the one where like you've got to go and there's a new world, I was like, I can't even deal with that right now.
Yeah.
I messaged you and I was like, you need to give me someone else. I don't have I have nothing. That's far too much for just now. My brain cannot compute.
Yeah, I think that's really important to raise, because we're all different, right? Some of us really need the creativity to like have a blank slate and feel into like new possibilities, whereas some of us in a logical mind want to just have a task. So like that whole like create a billboard like we did last week, we kind of looked at that one. And I think it's about knowing if something doesn't resonate, don't force it. And your journal prompts that I sent you, Fiona, I'll send to everyone at the end of today.
Yeah, because like I sent you, they were helpful. I think I think just because like you want to, in my head, for me anyway, I'm like, yeah, I want to have a life purpose. Yeah, I know what I want to, like, I'm very clear on what I want to do, like I sent you, but I don't want to create a whole new world and change the world. And I'm like, no, I'm good, thanks. Like, I don't need that. No, so it's like,
I guess that's the thing, is you taking it quite literally. So it isn't literally about creating a new world. I guess it's about like, if you were going to start again, like what would be the stuff that you really need to see? Like, actually, it's really important that there are less people, that people are kind to each other. Do you see
in my head? Yeah, no, like, I knew what you were saying. I did know what you were saying, but I was like, this week my brain doesn't work that big. Like
Yeah,
this
that's
last
fine.
few weeks, my brain doesn't have the capacity for that. So I
That's
was like,
fine, and that's fine.
I
But
literally
thank
sat
you.
with it. Yeah, I
But
sat
thank
with it for
you.
about a minute, and then I was like, I'm just going to message her. I can't deal with this.
Give me something else. Give me something else.
Yeah.
I will share those in the chat now, and I'll also share them in email because actually they take you back to a lot of like childhood essence.
Yeah, they were really good. Yeah.
Life purpose stuff is linked to this. So like one of the questions is, what do you want to be when you were young? What did you want to be when you grew up? That's a really good question for life purpose. You'll find that we're using old tools here to get to the same, the same answer some of the time. Any other comments? I think Marie, you were going to say something. Or maybe you weren't. Okay. Sorry, it looked like you were going to speak, but it might be my imagination. Anyone else? Emma?
Yeah, I was going to say, so when we were doing that kind of who am I, what walks into the room with me bit,
Yeah.
I found that quite difficult because I know what I would quite like to walk into the room with me, but I'm not 100% sure if it does. So I messaged one of my best friend from like when we were 13, and for the stuff that I'd come up with, I'd kind of come up with supported, self-assured, confident, in control.
Yeah.
And actually she just went, no, you give the vibes of friendly, warm, welcoming, happy and smiley.
Oh, lovely. That's good. I think that's the thing sometimes with that question is it's kind of something you need mirrored back to you. So that could be a really good question when we go in, if we do with Lizzie. I'm not going to try and control this too much, but if we do go into some kind of breakout rooms, I think we are around metaphors, it might be worth asking that question because actually people often pick up something that we don't see in ourselves. So that would be a really good way to ask a few family members on that. I would. And it's just checking and challenging, like, am I showing up here in my true authentic self? Am I wearing a different mask? It's just another temperature check, really. Yeah, really interesting. Janie, how are you getting on? Because congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. I've missed all the calls. I've really missed the calls, and I've missed the work as well. I'm a bit behind, so I'm sorry, but because of that happening, and then I was on holiday last week, so I'm still on the crew. Okay, I'm still like 2 behind, but I'm going to work on it next week when Artie's in summer camp. I'll have a bit more me time.
I know, to be honest, coming into August, it's trickier just because things turn chaotic. And everyone.
I love doing the work. I really enjoy it, so I'm looking forward to getting back.
You can always have a quick catch up and just make sure you land with you.
I went for a job and I got it, so I'm just so happy.
When are you starting, Janie?
Not till September. Thank you. It's a trainee job with the NHS in mental health, and so I will get a qualification as well as learning on the job. So it's my absolute dream. And I'm so happy. I'm a bit daunted about it, but I am.
Everything is going to, honestly, it's going to be amazing. It's nice you've got a bit of time to enjoy August too.
Yeah, but I did do, Natalie, what you said, I had like a picture of my dad before my interview, and I had my special stone that says believe, and my friend got me a pin that says I am strong, and I was like, yeah. And I walked around the meadow listening to some of my favourite songs that kind of, gee me up just before the interview. So I feel like I went in like, and then, I couldn't believe it when I got it. Hang on, darling. Someone's talking. No.
Going on over there, isn't it? And then thank you so much. And I think, honestly, keep us posted with that, because Sophia also got on last week.
I saw that.
Yeah, so that's
that's brilliant.
Yeah, so keep doing what you're doing, or everyone. It's amazing to see. Quick one, Caroline. So I know you've done this bit with me before. Any other final thoughts before we let Lizzie kind of take hold of this session?
No, I mean, other than the fact that I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed sort of putting a little bit of creative thought. So I added some pictures and things to go with my words and things. So I was really pleased with my billboard. I really liked that. So I really enjoyed sort of doing the work and sort of coming up with the statement. So
amazing, awesome. Yeah, and it's just a really good practice to go through. This will change as you change as well. Like I said last week, for the ones that weren't here, I said mine used to be the Nike slogan. My billboard used to be the Nike slogan of just do it. And like over time now, that is literally just not anywhere in alignment with how I am and who I am. You know, there's a lot of that in me, like subconsciously still, but there's so much more that I value around peace and like the feminine and flow. And I realized that, I don't know, it's just really strange to think how I've changed over a period of time where my statement's completely different. So this will change with you as well, which is important to say. So we're going to do a bit of practical stuff today, probably around 10-15 minutes on the impact, which is the stuff we started last week. And then we're going to do a bit on the metaphor, because the metaphor can be quite tricky because we don't learn about metaphors like, I don't know, after being 10 years old, do we really? Like it's quite hard to remember like what a metaphor is and how we can use it. So we're going to give a few examples, and then next week it's about you going away, putting some statements together, coming back, and then we'll share our kind of drafts of our statements next week. So you've got a bit of time to catch up, Janie, as well. Okay, Lizzie, over to you. And I think Lizzie's going to share a bit about how you've put yours together too, because I think you've got yours to share, haven't you, Lizzie?
Yes, yeah. So do people want to go through a couple of those visualizations again from module 3 to help you to feel and think into your metaphor and the impact statement? How are people feeling about that? Or are we happy to go straight on to, discussing and sharing and thinking about how we're going to create our metaphor? How are people feeling about that?
I'm good to kind of go through, but that's just me. I found the visualizations useful, and then I've ended up with some really quite ridiculous things. So it's the chatting through thing that I'm actually quite looking forward to.
Cool. Anyone else? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm happy to move on and not do them again, but
Any other?
Okay.
We got one of each at the moment. Anyone else? Any other votes?
The visualization perhaps again.
You do want to do them again. Why don't you do like one, or why don't we do like, I don't know, one of them, see how we feel, and maybe because it might be, because of the way that you deliver as well, it might be worth you leading one, because it's a different experience, isn't it, if you're being led through it. So yeah, let's give it a go. If nothing much comes up, we can move on, because the metaphor is absolutely we're going to spend most of today, but the impact is important. One thing I would say is, if you're struggling with impact, I did a post on this last week, is it starts with your passion. So if you feel like life purpose is like, oh, I really can't get to it, which I think most of you are there, start with your passion and then purpose will come. So that's just a reminder to kind of like bring it right back to passion first, and then it'll fall out of passion. But you know, I think we've all got some ideas around impact anyway. All right, Lizzie, over to you.
Okie dokie. So I think that we should perhaps go with the stage, if everyone's happy to go along with that one, because that really, I think, gets us to think about feelings. And it's feelings. I feel for me, when it came to me finding my my statement, it's really feeling into what it is that you're looking to achieve, essentially. So let's go with that. So I'd like you all to now just gently close your eyes, get yourselves nice and comfortable. If you want to turn off your screens for a moment, feel free to do so. And then gently close your eyes. As you close your eyes, just for a moment, just allow everything to soften, allow everything to settle. Just focusing on your breath now, steady inhales, steady exhales. And just allow your attention to be on your breath just for a moment. And as your attention is on your breath and you allow it to soften as well as the body, you start to get an image appear in your head, in your body. And in that image, you have walked onto a stage. And at that stage, you can see a massive crowd of people. I'd like you just to think about your initial feeling when you step onto that stage and you see that crowd of people. Is the feeling, gosh, you're sort of taken aback? Is it anxiety? Is it excitement? Is it nervousness? Whatever it is, just for a moment, allow that feeling to arise. Allow yourself to feel it. And if you're feeling any sense of fear, I'd like you to see if you can turn that fear into excitement, even if it's nervous excitement. See if you're meeting any resistance as well. If you're trying to move away from the fear, but there's a bit of a pushback, really see if you can take that excitement from your heart space. Allow yourself to truly feel. Feel into the body, feel into the breath. Now you step up to the microphone now, and time freezes for a moment. You hear a voice being whispered into your ear. And this voice says, in the next 30 seconds, you've got the possibility, the ability to achieve anything you want. You can make a massive impact on this group. You could change lives. And what would that be? So something I'd like you to just think about now, a couple of things. What impact would you like to have on this group if you had one opportunity to step in front of the stage? What would you say? How does that feel with that statement that you're telling this crowd? What's important to you? How do you want to be remembered if you were to look back on your life? And how is the crowd responding to this statement that you're making? How are you feeling in this moment? And what is it that you're doing? So just spending a few moments here, using this opportunity. I'd like you to sit with that and allow anything to arise. Feeling into your intuition. If it's small, if it's big, it doesn't matter. So bringing about any passions, any interests, things that light you up, things that give you energy. Okay, so time starts again. And the crowd actively starts responding in reaction to you. A smile crosses your face, and a smile crosses the faces of the crowd. You gently take a step back and thank everyone for yourself for coming on stage. Coming back to your breath now. Spending a few moments here, just breathing nicely and steadily. And then when you're ready, gently opening your eyes. So just gently coming back into the room. And as you come back into the room, just taking a little moment. And yeah, I'd be interested to hear if that sort of sparked any more ideas in anyone. if that's taking you a little step further, or do you feel like you're in the same place as you were before that visualization? Any thoughts?
Sorry, my kitten's attacking my book. Bear with me.
I was just going to say, I'm happy to go, Lizzie, because I've not had that like mirrored back to me for a while.
Okay.
And I think it's really interesting actually for me to do it, because sometimes I don't get to do it as regularly. And my words were just like very simple sentence of, who were you before the world told you who to be? That question, because I did that at FitFest. I opened with that statement, and I saw that land with a few people, and it's that feeling of you feeling like, they're like, whoa, and then you feel it, and then it's like, oh, like, you know, it's all the like feelings of that. And I just reminded of that actually, so thank you, because it I guess my reminder is it can be so simple, but actually the question is important, because it you know, it instills a self-reflection in someone else.
Yeah, it's, you know, as you said, Natalie, it's really important to remind ourselves of that childhood essence, isn't it? Because that's, yeah, I mean, that's essentially where I think what we've been working on actually throughout this course is, you know, some of our sort of deep values come from that, like our childhood essence. So it's really interesting that you, yeah, made that point. I like that. Anyone else on reflection?
So I can't quite remember, and it didn't come back to me then. It's really interesting, but I've written down what I kind of said, but I think it was around the same as I did sort of last time about smiling at each other. But the point of it was contact and that connection, and so feeling that everybody in the room would feel seen. I think that was where I came out, that was actually a really important thing for me. And that you saw not just, I think a little bit like you were just saying then, Natalie, you see not just sort of, you know, people maybe thinking they feel more aware of themselves a bit better, but that body language changes as well. So you get that kind of sit up, and that's where I've ended up with that one, that visualization.
That's really nice. Self-awareness is great. Anyone else?
Mine was about if anyone's there feeling sad or lonely, or to sort of reach out and talk to someone. And so again, wanting to help people, so it just kind of confirms what I want to do now.
Yeah, it's a really nice like statement for you to know you're exactly where you're meant to be, right? Like, and what Emma says a lot, like, I'm already doing it. Like, this is the thing, like, don't chase something new, because actually a lot of us, we're already doing this work. So it's a revalidation of like, I'm already doing it in my daily actions, but I'm going to choose to do it more. And I think that's the reality, isn't it? It's not always something aspiring to be something new, you know, it's already within us. We're already acting and behaving in that way.
Yeah, it's that sort of solidification, isn't it? It's that sort of strengthening of what we already are, essentially, just to light us up even more.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that I kind of came to, again, chatting to my friend Louise about all of this, was actually a lot of that. So back to your statement, Natalie, about, you know, what did I want to be before the world told me, you know, what I was. It's not so much maybe that for me, but almost more the fear of missing out, a good bit of FOMO, and thinking that I should be, when actually no, I've kind of sorted it already, thanks. And I don't need to try and match anybody else and do different things. I'll just stick to where I am, and I don't have to have stupid ambition and go for the world. I can stick with where I am. So
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you for sharing.
I think I was a bit stuck for words when I was on the stage, even though the stage is my happy place and I really enjoy the audience and all the attention. So I just sang. I just sang to the audience.
I love that.
Right.
Yeah, there's so much happiness right there. You're just spreading joy. But I love that you just said that, because I just read the question of what comes naturally to you, or embracing your unique strengths. And if that is something that would come naturally to you in that moment. Because this is about going back to Jay Shetty, isn't it? Of like, where are our strengths? What comes easily to us? So actually, you've kind of just led me on perfectly. Because I was just going to say that this work's about leaning into what comes easily and what feels natural as well. Because if that is dance or sing or whatever, like, I love that.
What
What
was the
song?
song, Maria? Is it a Michael Jackson?
Oh, I wish I knew what the song was, because I wanted to incorporate all, my message into the song. So I don't really know what I would sing, what song I would choose to, for the message to come across, but
To be confirmed, the live statement next week
Yeah.
will be a song, actually.
work in progress.
Sing one, which will be amazing. Oh, I love that.
Great. I think, yeah, should we have a look at moving on to starting to create our statements? So would you all like to hear a little bit about my statement, or would you like to hear my statement afterwards? So we're going to do a bit of group work. So it all depends on what lands best with people. What would you suggest, Natalie? Should we do a bit of group work first?
No, I think share yours, because I think sometimes like how you put it together, like
Yeah.
with mine, like I am the lighthouse that guides you home. So how it comes together in the words that you use,
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
that can be the tricky bit.
Yeah, okie dokie. All right, so I'll go through my statement and then I'll talk a little bit about how we can sort of feel into our metaphors as well and how we can find the metaphors. So my statement is, I'm the shining star that guides you to your truth. So the metaphor is, I'm the shining star, and the impact statement is that guides you to your truth. And so essentially I was like looking at my statement and shining star. So shining, the words attached to that are things like light and bright, sparkly, and star. Well, star is energy, isn't it? So as I discussed in my week where I talked about my leader and my ally, so I talked about the Shakti energy. So it was this light, bright goddess. So if you think about it, you could essentially incorporate your leader within into your metaphor if you wanted to. Well, in the whole statement, to be honest, the whole statement could be about your leader, but I find that worked really nicely for me. And actually as well, the star, as I don't know if you remember, but my allies were all based around different types of energy. So, it's again, going back to your allies and thinking about the different energies that you can use for different occasions and different situations and different feelings. So that's how I got to my metaphor. And essentially the second bit, that guides you to your truth. So guide, I think quite a few of us want to sort of go into sort of guiding, supporting based roles, don't we? And so in a sense, at the moment here, I'm guiding you, coaching, serving, and that guides you to your truth. So truth, so you can tie in actually your values here as well. So truth actually is one of my values, truth and honesty. And basically my truth is that I want to help people to find their inner tools and resources. And that helps people to realize that everything they need is already within them. So that's what truth stands for, essentially. So that's how I came to my statement. I don't know if that's overcomplicated it for you or not.
Useful. Thank you, Lizzie. It's really beautiful to hear how you've come to that and how you've framed it back to every part of the course too. And that's the first time I'd heard that as well. So I really like that. It makes sense. And as a mirror back to you, I couldn't have chosen a better statement for you or a better metaphor, and that's what this is about, like saying it and then seeing how it's received is a really important part of then really leaning into it and owning this as well.
Yeah, and so I mean, I don't know if that comes across as like quite a, maybe that seems like it's a very big impact, but everyone can have a small or as big of an impact that they want, really. So yeah, it's, you know, it could be much more simple than that. So, I mean, a couple of other impact statements that I could read to you, which might be a little bit different, quite similar. I was also looking at things like, I'm the sunshine bringing you more energy and light and warmth into your life. So that's a little bit more, I don't know, almost a little bit more simple, or a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but you get my meaning. It's essentially more specific, really. Whereas I feel like my impact statement that I've gone with is quite broad, essentially.
Yeah. And you think about how you're going to use it, Lizzie. So, a question to you. I'm coaching you now, but how are you going to use this impact statement in your day-to-day life?
Well, I feel like I'm already using it in my day-to-day
But
life.
how are you
actually.
going to bring it through more consciously and use it more consciously? How are you going to
yeah.
say those words, use those words?
Yeah, so actually, you know, I do, if we're talking about like actions and sort of behaviors, I do journal on a daily basis. So actually that statement could be written down on a daily basis in my journal. Through my meditations, I could repeat that as a mantra on a daily basis as well. And yeah, like, I mean, there's, you know, you can have little sticky notes placed around the house where you've got that written down as well. And then, yeah, just being very sort of mindful, I suppose, as well in my sort of conversations and actions around others, you know, the way that I speak to others, and the way I'm sharing information. Yeah, because it's all about your thoughts, your actions, your speech, your words.
Yeah, everything.
Everything.
And I was just going to say as well, like, there's a bit about this being your personal brand. I don't know if that lands for people, but like, there's something about the fact that, you know, on my bio for Instagram, it says my statement. And I'm just going to ask Caroline, like, as the spiritual life coach, Caroline, could you use this statement in your business as well? Because this is about using it to then bring about who you are and really translate that meaning to the world.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because similar to Lizzie, when I came up with my statement, I went back to my allies and I looked at the images that I've used, and going back to, you know, the Jay Shetty quiz. And so I was picking out all the different parts, and definitely the statement I came up with would be completely appropriate for my business. And I thought to myself, when I'd written, I thought, great, this is something I can then put on my website, and I can put on all my, because it sums up who I am and what I do.
I love that. And I love the fact that we're bridging that gap of like personal values versus business values, because that's how it should be. If we're in the right business or we're doing the right work, it should be in alignment, right? So it should all be the same, but often there's a disparity between those two worlds, isn't there, sometimes? I'm going to stop talking, Lizzie. I can't help myself, but move us on to metaphors.
Have we got a bit of time to get people together in groups of
I think it would be nice to do that, as long as people are happy, probably just to be 5 minutes late, because we started 5 minutes late. I think you know, it might be 7 minutes or so, I think, but it'd be good to just explore this, because I think this is where each other can really help. Because sometimes we had in the old group Molly, you know, Molly Caroline, but she literally said to one of the others, Georgie, like, I just see butterfly when I see you. And then it just became her statement, weirdly. So just sometimes you're seeing images and metaphors in each other, and I think to get that feedback is quite important.
And actually, yeah, just before we do go into our groups very quickly, so just if you're trying to think of a metaphor, maybe have a think of groups of words. So you could think of nature, universe, faces, animals.
Yeah, so it just gives you an idea, because I think the hardest thing is starting to get the momentum here. So yeah, Lizzie, you can just jump in and out, but I'll put people just in
okay,
threes. I'll put you in 2 groups of 3, I think. Shall I? Would you rather 2s or 3s?
I really don't mind, but I don't know how to go in and out
I'm
of
doing it.
groups.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, don't worry. Oh, I think it's because you're not a host, so you'll have to. I'll just put you in one group, Lizzie.
Okay.
I'll put you in groups of 2 then. Cool. All right. You should get the invite now. Yeah. So Lizzie, you're with Caroline. Yeah. All good. All right. See you guys shortly.
And I've got tons of photos on my external hard drive. And I knew if I went on my, on the hard drive, I would start spending tons of time on just looking through the photographs instead of actual work.
Yeah.
So I've now managed to find one photograph and everything revolves around it. So I think, I'm in a better place than I was before. And I think things will start sort of getting, coming together, around this photograph, and my mom being the appreciator and moving from that.
Can you think of a metaphor? Did anything come to you?
Yeah, it's all around. I'm sort of I am like, I'm a helping hand when you need it most. No, not so much of a metaphor, but yeah, I guess that's what I've been doing, and that's what, my values revolve around, is help, whoever that might be.
So that, for me, that's the impact, but why or how are you going to do or be the helping hand? That's how you're going to get to the metaphor. Do you see the difference? So is that about soft? Is that a feminine, or is that a masculine hand? Is that strong? Do you see what I mean? Feeling into how you're going to be that help. That's going to give you the metaphor. So you've kind of got the impact at the moment, I think.
Right. It's a very masculine hand, yeah.
It is, yeah.
do.
Yeah, do. So, so I am the force. I am, do you know what I mean? That would be a metaphor that links to the energy of how you're going to be that helping hand. So it's feeling into how we're going to know that's Maria.
Okay, that
Yeah,
makes
that's
sense.
Interesting, because I think mine is I forgot to say to you, Natalie, I did do that energy thing, and I was a feminine one.
Yes. Okay.
So I'm definitely more of a softly, like I'd want to cuddle someone or listen to them or provide like a shelter or
like a warm blanket. Like
exactly. I would like to wrap someone up, and I think this comes from what I wanted when I was being, but I'd like to wrap someone up, give them a mug of tea and be like, I'm here, I will listen to you, and everything's going to be okay, and just be a friend.
I love that. There's so much there, isn't there? Like I am, I am that warm, I am a warm blanket. Like that's how we can really cleverly use these metaphors. How did I want to be helped?
Yeah, it is very much that. I'm a tactile person, so lockdown's been a nightmare. If I met you in person, I'm sort of touching your arm or you know, I am very like that.
Don't
in the
worry,
fact
I'm like that too, so we'd just be hugging.
I'm really like, yeah, totally heart on my sleeve, and yeah, that's what. So I need to think of a metaphor to go with that, I suppose.
Yeah. But again, I think that's where again you can kind of you kind of are on the right track. I think thinking of what you need in those moments, you know, because that's you're halfway there. And it's really interesting how you two are so different on the masculine and feminine end
Yeah,
too.
that is funny. When you said that, I'm definitely feminine, soft, and you're like strong. Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I will do as well, I'll have a little look for like a list of metaphors, like, you know, because that might be interesting for you to then like almost pick from a list almost, because sometimes it's thinking of them, isn't it? You know, like water, like if you think about something like water, it can flow, it can be icicles, it could be, honestly, it can have so many variables or way that it's explained, can't it? Like almost like a lake compared to a stream, how those energies are different.
Yeah.
So you see one thing like that can have like 7 or 8 or 9 different words of how it would be described. And I think that's what this is about. Like it's really feeling into like what makes that feel like you.
Mhm.
You know, so for Maria, if it was water, it would be like, you know, I don't know, it would be like the jet maybe. But for Janie, it would be like the, you know, I don't know, the drop, like the kind of like, you know, when it's like a dewdrop, you know, what's it called when you just
Okay.
tiny drop into water, you know, it's like a water drop, is it? I can't think of the word. But you know
Yeah.
what I mean,
I can't think of it. Yeah. Okay.
I feel like I've confused you more now with that.
No,
Maria?
you have.
I think it's come to me, perhaps.
Oh,
I am the bull that will pull you through any life difficulty,
Oh, I love that.
or like out of a lot.
I love the bull. Yeah, that really resonates with.
Yeah, not water. I don't think I'm not too comfortable in water or with water, but yeah.
I think as well, there might be a reference back to the animal thing here for you, Maria, too.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's something about force rather than your directive, you're taking charge, aren't you? Whereas, you know, the way that you're doing it, Janie, is softly, and there's absolutely a reason why we do it in our way. It's about not doing it how everyone else does it, because that's not your unique offer to the world.
yeah.
Interesting. Cool. Well, we've got lots of I'll send definitely a list of metaphors, and hopefully this is where you'll probably use me a lot over the next week, just to like throw random ideas, and then I'll like rewrite it for you and then throw it back. And it's all about trial and error and making like just being really creative in this first bit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
I will bring you all back. Okay, so yes, there we go. And I'm gonna, I don't need to leave this room now. I'll come back with you.
What about a shelter? A shelter from the
Oh,
storm?
yeah.
That's kind of, I imagine, like a cozy little
Yeah, because that's like the
place
word
that you would
but it's just
come in.
it's a different word for yeah. Shelter.
Yeah, like from a horrible storm where it's dark and you're lost, and you can come into my little cozy hut, have a mug of tea, and I'll wrap you up.
like even you've just written it, like I am the shelter from the wild storm. Like
Yeah,
that's just an amazing
Beautiful.
isn't it, in itself?
yeah, when you feel a bit battered. Well, yeah. Oh, okay. Yay.
Note
Them
of
together
that.
now.
I will I'm going to ask you both to share, just because I've been with you, but I will just
Okay.
compare you both, because there's a beautiful duality in that, I think.
Ooh.
3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did everyone get on? Have we got some more ideas around our metaphors? And would anyone like to share their metaphors with us?
I was with Emma, and I think it's really interesting how you can hear things in your own head and not really pick up on stuff. And then as soon as you speak to someone, like we were both like, well, what about that? That's what you said. What about that? You've mentioned it before. Like, yeah, it was really good. It's really good. I think the little breakout sessions are always really good for that, though. Just having like that somebody like to play off of, and
Yeah,
to
definitely.
bounce ideas off of. Yeah, it
Definitely.
was good.
We will share a list of metaphors, won't we, after, Lizzie, as well, in an email. And I think sometimes you need like a list, because it can be very hard to come up with the words at that point unless they're mirrored back to you.
Emma's smiling and laughing because she knows I'm waiting to make her share her last one in her list. You go on, Emma. Share
Come on,
it.
Emma, out with it.
I've got to stop giggling. I am the mug of tea that values your time.
Oh,
Brilliant.
we talked about being a cup of tea as well.
Okay.
I love it. I love it. We did decide it's probably not the one to go for out of our list, but we did enjoy it for hilarity value.
I love that. I love that so much. I was in a group with Maria and Janie, and what was so fascinating about those two is that we had two really different energy types, in that Maria was the force, the strength, the power, and Janie was like the soft and the calm, like warm blanket almost. And I thought that was really nice to have the duality of like two really different energies. Because you started off, didn't you, Maria, saying about the impact, the helping hand, like it's there to help others.
Yeah.
And I was saying that's not your metaphor, that's your impact. And I said, why? How is it? How are we going to know it's Maria? Like, what's going to make it Maria's way? And that's when it was like, this is about what we're doing it. We're doing it like forcefully, and and we came up with the bull in the end, didn't we, Maria? It was a
We
good.
did, yeah. I am the bull that will pull you out of any life difficulty.
That's the thing, isn't it, with our metaphors? It's, coming back to some of those describing words and feelings around our leaders and our allies, right? So, like as I was saying, mine is like shining stars. So the shining, is referring to this describing word of like one of my my leaders and my allies. So it's just little reminders of that from time to time.
Yeah. And one thing, Janie, you'll share in a minute, but like we came up with one that was like the warm blanket as well. So again, it can be really simple, but sometimes just thinking of it initially is really hard. Janie, do you want to share yours? We had a breakthrough moment.
Yeah, so, well, you kind of led me to it with the blanket idea, but when I've had my struggles, I really want to be like looked after, so wrapped in a blanket, mug of tea, Emma, and just cozy up and looked after. And then that led me to the idea of a shelter, being a shelter from the storm of when life kind of batters you down a bit. You're feeling lost and it's dark outside, you can come in, cozy up in my little shelter.
I love that. It's so nurturing.
Yeah, that's it. Nurturing, definitely. That's a good word. Yeah.
And this is what I'll say now for the next week is like, be so creative, like put as many words into, like, honestly, when I do this with people have like 3 lines worth of an impact statement, like they can be really long. And I said to you just now, Janie, around like, what is it about the storm? Is it a long storm? Is it over? Is it like start and over really? Is it quickly? Like feel into the storm. Like what is it about the storm that makes it the support that you give that's unique? Really feel into every word within that statement, because that's going to give it the real feeling of when you speak it, you're like, it's going to give you goosebumps. When it's right, when you just feel it as you speak it as well. Caroline, any thoughts? You've been quiet.
No, I'm just listening to all these amazing statements. No, Lizzie and I realised that our statements were almost identical. They
Pretty much the same.
Much the same. So mine was, I am the star that guides you along your spiritual path.
I love that. Yeah.
What
is it about the star though, Caroline? Like, I feel like both of you could be more specific about.
Well, with me, I was relating it to the tarot card, the star, which actually symbolizes my astrological sign, which is Aquarius. So and also I've always been fascinated by the stars. I love looking up at a night sky and the moon and things. So
I love that. Oh my God, there's just so much richness here, isn't there? I feel like literally the world's your oyster with this, because you could get so playful and creative. And what I will say with the next week is feel free to just throw me random words and sentences and we can like do it together, because I feel like sometimes you need to just throw stuff in, some mad ideas, some wacky ideas, and then like just be fun, like have some fun with it. Because I think if you don't do that initially, you don't get the freedom in to like get to kind of where you need to go. And I think we will send you kind of some kind of list of metaphors, but that question to others, what walks into the room when I do, using those words that people mirror back to you, really powerful. And did you come up for any metaphors for each other? Final kind of note. Did you see anything in each other that you were like, actually, yeah, that feels really, because we spoke about water, for example. There's like, water has so many different states, right? Ice, a lake, a stream, the ocean, right? Think about one word and how many different perspectives or lenses you could look at that word with, right? And that's what this is about, a word and leaning into that word. So it's not just the word, but it's about really feeling into the state of that word, like, and that whether that feels like it is in alignment with you. Because we were saying about Maria would be like ice or something more forceful compared to like a drip. They're not a drip for you, Drainy, but do you know what I'm saying? Like the water is like really
a dewdrop
energies. Like the softness versus kind of, yeah, like of that state of water, for example, for those two would be just completely different. I don't know if that's helped you or not, but you just got everything there. Blah. Any thoughts? Any final thoughts? And anything from you, Lizzie, too? Thank you for guiding us through that, because I got lots out of it too.
Well, I was saying to Caroline, you know, metaphors are poetry, aren't they? So just make this as poetic as you'd love it to be.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's the thing. It's allowing that creative time to just sit with words that randomly just come to us that we don't really understand why.
And I think actually there's just another like point, just to note that Carol and I made a point of, was just that I didn't find this too difficult, and I didn't find the work on the allies and the leader within very difficult, like in terms of creating our vision boards and stuff. And I think it's really feeling into that creativity and allowing yourself to be creative, because I know I very much previously was like, oh, I'm not a very creative person, and I wasn't allowing myself the space to get creative as well. So it's allowing yourself to feel into it.
I when people say to me I'm not creative, I say that's ridiculous, because everyone has the availability to be creative, but we just haven't accessed it yet. We absolutely all have that within us. We just haven't allowed ourselves to connect to that, and it doesn't look the same for everyone, right, as well. So absolutely have some fun with this, guys, and use us over the week, because like I said, we're going to present back those 3 versions and use each other to choose which one you're going to kind of commit to as well. And it's about really being proud of this. We'll wear this with a badge of honor, like we do our values, like Caroline said, it's going on my website, or it's it's about being really true to this and helping ourselves be guided by this statement as well, and reminded of this work as well. Any final thoughts? Sorry for the technical issues.
No, that's my fault. Apologies, everyone.
No, to be honest, these things happen. It's all good. Everyone had a bit more time to stay on a bit later anyway. So all good. We're going to finish off this chapter next week. We'll then debate whether we have a week off or not. We usually would, but we'll see how it lands with people's holidays, or people might want to push through. And then we're on to the final bit, really, which is tying it all together. So it's gone quickly. I've sent a doodle poll, by the way, out if people do want to physically try and meet up. It'll probably be back in Oxfordshire, just because that's where my friend has a yoga studio, and she does an aerial yoga session, which I think is the most beautiful way to end this journey, like with an aerial yoga class. Like, I just think it's really fitting. We're doing it this Sunday with the first lot.
What's aerial yoga?
It's basically like, I'll send you some pictures, but it's, the hammocks that like get tied onto the ceilings, and then you do it in like a hammock. So you like swing, and then you do all the poses, but from it's so amazing. It's so freeing, honestly.
No, Emma, don't look worried. It's nice. It's really good.
But you are far away, Fiona, so I don't know if you'll be able to come all the way down to Oxfordshire.
Depends what date you're thinking, because I think the 31st It was one of the dates, wasn't it? And the other one was I can't make the 5th because that's when my sports massage course starts. I can potentially make the last weekend in August. So let me know what you're planning on. Then I can.
I could always add more dates if you guys say, look, we need the whole of September. Like we could do every weekend in September if needed. But I didn't know if you wanted to do it kind of in line with the end, really. But if it doesn't work, we'll find a date for everyone that does want to do something anyway. But I loved it.
Because I had a flight booked to London anyway, so I've not changed that yet. And I need to change it so I could easily use it for this if I know a date. So keep posted.
That would be amazing. That's the only one I was worried about. I was like, you're a little bit further away than
I know, because when you put it up, I was like, I'm so far away.
Yeah.
But then I do have, like I said, I've got this flight I was going to come down for, but because of COVID, I was like, no, never mind. But they would have changed the isolation policy by then, so it's fine.
Yeah, fingers crossed we have some lunch or something after as well. So yeah, have a look at that, everyone, when you can. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening. We're going to be staying for like we do usually 5-10 minutes debriefing and stuff. Anyone wants to have any kind of direct conversations or have any final thoughts on their statement, stay with us, or yeah, just keep us in the loop with this one, because we don't want you to kind of feel stuck alone. So feel free to message us for as little or as much as you like.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Awesome. Well done, Lizzie.
I don't know how I felt about that session, but oh well.
What do you mean? It was hard to do it when you were started anxious. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not the best start. So I think in future, let's maybe check everything works just in case, to allow, because we don't want to go into something and then the feeling sets you off, doesn't it? I think for the whole session, really. But I think people got to where they needed to get to. I think, to be honest, the metaphor was where we needed to spend the whole session, really, to be honest. There's so much juiciness in the metaphor. So for next time, I think it feels like the impact is okay for them to do on their own, but let's really like use this session for like to them to embody the metaphor. And I think one thing that we didn't do that I thought we were going to do is give them the list, because without the list, they can't really, they're just like, well, the group I was in, they would like, well, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's really hard to get them.
To be honest, like when I looked at that list though, I wasn't sure that was going to work, but then I did sort of create my own list, but I don't know if there's enough information there. But I could, what I've got written down, I could send to you and you can have a quick look at that.
Yeah, do that, and then at least I can send it an email, because I think we'll get better at looking at how this is framed and landed. And this is hard because a lot of this is just going to come from an inner random word that pops up in their mind. So for us to lead them through that process is quite tricky. But I think giving ideas with things like water is a really good one, because it has so many different like elements that you could describe one thing, water, in so many different ways. So I think they got there. So no, absolutely, it's all learning, and there will be times when you're like, oh, that didn't feel right, times when you're like, yeah, I smashed that. It's all the ups and downs of doing what we do. So please don't be hard on yourself, and you weren't feeling amazing anyway. So we just turn this recording off, actually.